Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Okay, straight off the back of the last video, here we go. Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Not going to be 30 minutes. It's certainly going to be less than that. So sit back, grab a coffee, grab a soft drink, and here we go. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install ESXi 8.03c. I think it's 3c, I think it's 8.03c. For free, with no entitlement required at the Broadcom website. As I said at the end of the last video, I'm not sure whether this is an oversight, undersight, wombling free. I don't know really, but I was in bed one night and I was either dreaming or semi-conscious, or woke up and I had a light bulb moment. I thought, hang on a minute, for all those people that keep asking for an ESXi download, and on some of the forums I've seen, they are met with a very angry, flamed response of ESXi free is retired, it's no longer available. And I think that, you know, if you Google free ESXi, you'll see lots of things about I think 18th of February last year, VMware free ESXi no longer free, no longer licenses as of today, February 12th, 2024. Oh, in fact, actually, to be honest, that's almost the anniversary. The anniversary of the free ESXi hypervisor, making it end of general availability. And then I thought to myself, no, hang on. There is a mechanism where this can be downloaded. And here it is. I don't know whether or not that this has been blogged about before. I don't know whether or not this has been talked about before. I certainly not seen it mentioned in any of the forums. Most of the forums just flame people to death when they request, where is ESXi free? Well, it's here. If you go to the communitybroadcom.com flings, it does require you to have a Broadcom logon. But you will find that our friend and very nice bloke, a very good bloke, William Lamb, he has created OVAs, nested OVAs, for use with VMware Workstation, VMware vSphere, and a lot of his scripts. You will find that he has created OVAs of all the versions of ESXi back to 6.0, 6.0, 6.5, 6.7, 7, 7.02, 7.03, 8.0, and the last one, 8.0 update 3c. So they are virtual appliances, they're OVAs. They are available as a zip file, and I'll show you here. I've downloaded the zip file. I've extracted the zip file, and you've got a lovely appliance template OVA. So you can use that OVA in VMware Workstation to install ESXi completely for free. The download has come from the Broadcom.com website, so I suspect that's legal. It's not hosted on any other website. VMware Workstation is now free. So what is actually stopping you from using it for 60 days for free? When I keep seeing on forums, no, you can't do this, it's no longer available. Well, it's here, it's here in black and white, and I'll show you now how we can use that OVA to create a nested virtual machine in VMware Workstation for you to use as a home lab, training, whatever you like. So without further ado, here we go. So I've already got our existing VMware ESXi that running in the last video. So I'm actually going to shut that down because we actually basically created that virtual machine with 16 gig and a handful of cores, and certainly it's going to struggle on this particular desktop I've got here. So we've actually turned that off. Anyway, so to install that OVA, first of all, unzip it. I don't think I have to show you how to do that. And we click open, and I'm going to select downloads, and I'm going to find that OVA, and I'm going to click OK, and click accept the license terms agreement, followed by next. Name for the virtual machine, so I'm going to call that VMware ESXi 8.0. We'll call that OVA. We'll just tag it OVA so it looks a bit different. Now, one of the things that's going to be slightly different is that because it's been created as an OVA, there are various things that are set in the OVA already. But if you're a bit sneaky and a bit crafty and you basically use Notepad or Notepad++, you can open the OVA and you can actually edit those changes if you wish. Otherwise, just go with the defaults that William has provided, and we'll look at those. So next. Now, I've been experimenting with this networking information and configuration information, etc. And to be honest, really, I just thought it was a waste of time putting any of that in because we can reconfigure it later. So I'm just going to basically click import. And it'll import it fairly quickly. And then what it actually basically tries to do, it tries to power it up. And in this configuration, it's going to fail. So that's okay. I wanted it to do that. So now we've actually basically got, if you can actually have a little look at the configuration here. So we've got memory 8 gig. So again, I'm going to up that to 16. I'm going to change the processors to 4. Well, I'm going to do number of cores 4 and 1 processor. Hard disk. So now, you know, you could at this point experiment and mess around with the sizes, but just be a little bit careful because these are fixed sizes at the moment. So the 16 gig version here is where the operating system is installed. These two here are probably data stores. So I'm going to change the networking to NAT. I'm going to add I'm just going to go with what we've got here for the moment. So I'm going to click OK. So we've got 2 network adapters. We've got all the hard disks. We've just changed the memory and that. One of the things I'm going to do is going to upgrade the virtual machine. The current virtual machine hardware compatibility is of Workstation 14.x, and I'm going to basically just update it to 17.5 so we can use all the features. And I'm going to alter this virtual machine. I'm not going to clone it. Followed by next, followed by apply. So that's done. One of the other things I'm going to do as well, I'm going to look in the options and I'm going to specify that this machine is VMware ESXi 8, followed by OK. So at that point now, I'm ready to power on the virtual machine. Now, I know the reason why it's actually basically giving me a failure on this particular box. And that's because I've actually got the Intel virtualized Intel VT. That is not compatible with my WSL2 settings for the moment. So you will need that option ticked to virtualize machines under ESXi. But because I've got WSL2 running on this physical bare metal machine, there is a conflict. So I need to untick that. You don't untick it. Okay, so there you can see the machine is booting. 12th gen processor, 16 gigs of memory. And what we'll do when we get the message about starting up and DHCP, we'll log in with the browser again and I'll show you the data stores. Like this, I think these virtualization templates I think were created by William Lamb for his vSAN clusters script, PowerShell script under VMware Workstation and VMware vSphere Hypervisor, and later I think they've been created for VCF as well. But here we go. So 192.168.189.139. So I'm just going to, that was our old host, remember, 39. There we go. So there's the famous your connection is not private. We spoke about that in the last video in creating and rolling our own certificates. Okay, now it's no surprise that the password used here is VMware 1 pling. It's a standard password that's used across a lot of VMware OVAs, templates and appliances. I'm going to click OK. So there you go, exactly the same. We downloaded the OVA and we've imported the OVA into VMware Workstation, and we are able to run ESXi 8.0 Update 3 available from VMware Flings with no entitlement. So you decide whether or not that ESXi free is no longer available. Like, the ESXi free licenses are no longer available, but I'm sure if you search hard enough, you may come across an evaluation license, or you may come across a free license. But the same thing applies, that you're in evaluation mode, so you can evaluate all the bells and whistles of VMware vSphere Hypervisor ESXi 8.0 U3 for 60 days, and at 60 days, or the 59th day, 60 days, it will expire and you will not be able to turn on any of your virtual machines again. But that doesn't actually basically stop you reinstalling again. And if you've actually if you've actually created your virtual machines on a separate disk, now this has got the if I click new data store here, actually if we look in devices, so if you look in devices, you can see the 8 gig disk and the 16 gig disk. They are the ones that are sitting in our configuration here. Sorry, let's just edit those settings and you can see them more clearly. So here's the 16 gig, 4 gig and 8 gig disks that appear. So you can actually basically increase the size of those or decrease the size of those. But as I showed you in the previous video, what I would do personally, I would add and create another disk, a 200 gig disk, or as big as you want to install your virtual machines on. Make a note of the file name of that, and then when you actually basically come to reinstall, all you're doing is just reinstalling that disk, and then you can add your 200 gig disk to it. All your virtual machines are actually basically installed on that VMFS data store, and then just browse the inventory and browse the data store and add those virtual machines back to your inventory. Simples, if you don't have a license. So that's all there is to show you in this particular video. Is ESXi free no longer available? The licenses aren't, but you still have a mechanism to be able to download. You may not have the mechanism to download an ISO, which you need to be entitled for, but clearly there is a mechanism to download ESXi 8 for Home Lab by downloading the OVA and importing the OVA into VMware Workstation to use nested. Haven't seen it mentioned before. As I said, I have seen a lot of people basically turn around and say that it's no longer available to download, no longer available to use, and people have been flamed to death for that. But again, I think we're all here in the community to help one another. And if your goal is to learn VMware vSphere Hypervisor, which is certainly my goal is to mentor people and to help people implement VMware Workstation, VMware vSphere Hypervisor, and give them the tools and give them the knowledge to, use this stuff. Then there is a mechanism to download it officially. As I said, whether it's an undersite, oversight, wobbling free, I don't know. But if you're watching this video for the first time and you're trying to get your hands on VMware vSphere ESXi, or you're trying to get your hands on any of the other versions of VMware vSphere, then my advice to you is go and grab and download them now before they disappear. Who knows? Anyway, again, thanks so much for watching another episode of Hancock's VMware Half Hour. If you like this video, then please thumbs up. If you don't like this video, then please thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe. And in the next video, leading on from this, it's almost a segue into it really, I'm going to show you how to install VMware vSphere vCenter Server in VMware Workstation. So come back and watch that one. It's not officially supported, but you probably haven't got support anyway. You probably haven't got a support agreement with Broadcom. So what actual difference does it make these days if you're going to basically install VMware vCenter Server on VMware Workstation and use it? I'll leave that one for you to decide. Anyway, so thanks again for watching. Come back for the next video when we have a little look at installing VMware vCenter Server on VMware Workstation 17.6. So for now, thank you very much and goodbye.